Hello guys, today we will solve this room in TryHackMe CAPTCHApocalypse. So let's start the attack box and the lab machine. Let's maximize this window. So it is booting up. Okay, so the room says, can you guess the password of the admin user and log in to the dashboard? Note, first 100 lines of rocket.txt. So we don't have to think much in this room because they have already told us what we have to do. We have to brute force the admin user using first 100 lines of the rocket.txt file. But there is a catch. So okay, let me show you first. Okay, so our attack box is ready. So first we will do a nmap scan of the target machine. What is the IP? Lab machine IP. Okay, 172.2.8. So nmap SC for default script, SV for version enumeration, and we'll do reason, and then the IP address of the target machine, that is 1048.172.2.8. Okay, first let's see which ports are open on the target machine. As we can see, there are only two ports open, one 22, that is for SSH, and another is 80. There is an HTTP server running. The server header is Apache. So let's take a look at the web server running on port 80. I'm sorry, this is slow because I am using their virtual attack machine. I don't have VPN setup right now, so it will be kind of laggy and slow. So let's go. HTTP 1048. What was that? 172.2.8. Port 80. And as you can see, this is a login page. First thing we do is we take a look at the page source. And this is already burning my eyes. So let's copy this whole thing. And let's see it in here. It is better. So what is happening here? There it is a login form. This is all CSS stuff. Login form. Okay, first thing we can see is a CSRF token. Maybe we'll need this later. Username, password. So CAPTCHA. There is CAPTCHA present. So we can't just do a basic brute force, right? Because each time the CAPTCHA will be changed and we have to put that new CAPTCHA. Okay. Yeah, so this is the login form page source. Now let's go back to the login page and try default credentials like admin. Put the CAPTCHA X 4ZTN, and before sending the request, let's open the network tab and login. Okay, so there is a, I think, script.js. Yeah, let's see the request. Okay, there is no request. Let's check out this script.js. Okay. Okay, so we can see some kind of encryption is going on here, probably RSA, because I can see there is a public key, server public key, and a client private key. There are only two keys we can see here. Let's look at the login function. Username, password, yes. So the CSRF token that we saw previously in the page source, that will be fetched by this get element by ID and CAPTCHA. So 4 parameters are being sent in the post, I think it is a post. Yeah, method is post to the server.php. 4 things are being sent. First, username, then password, CSRF token, and captcha input. Let's see how this parameter is being sent. Okay, so they are using append. So like action, login, CSRF token, 5 things total are being sent to the server. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's open our barb so we can intercept the request and take a better look at the request. Okay. Okay, so barb has opened. Let's start a project. Let's it just froze. I don't know. Let's resize the window so we can see properly. I don't know why it's taking so long to start a project. Let's wait. Okay, so another thing, we have to create a proxy for barb to work. Let's create a proxy. To do that, we have to go to options and then proxies. Let me zoom in so you can see better. And then add. Here we will name it barb. The hostname will be localhost, so 127.0.0.1, and port barb license on 8080. Save it. And now we can intercept the request. Let's move the browser this side and let's resize the window. And barb. Let's go to proxy. Turn on the barb proxy. Intercept on. Username admin. Password admin. CAPTCHA 5BC95 and login. Okay, so as you can see, it is a post request to server.php. Now let's look at the request. First, let's send it to repeater. Okay, so as we can see, the body of the request contains data. Now, when I see the data, I can clearly understand it is a base 64 encoded data. So first, let's copy this. Go to CyberChef. Paste it from base 64, and it's gibberish. The reason it is gibberish is because it is an encrypted data. It's not like a little string or normal data object, like it's encrypted, so we can't really read the content of this data. So we can decrypt it using RSA. So let's say RSA decrypt. But to decrypt this data, we will need the private key of which server or client. Okay, let's check. Let's look at the script.js file. Okay, so the data is being encrypted with server's public key and will be decrypted with server's private key. Yeah, so we will need server's private key to decrypt that data and to see what's inside. But we don't have server private key. We only have server public key and client private key. So here is one thing I did wrong when I was initially doing this room, and I will explain to you. So I thought, okay, maybe, okay, let me draw first. One thing, as you can see from this script, how the data is being sent to server.php. Here, so action, login, CSRF token, password, username, password, and captcha input, and these are being append. Sorry. So how this is being sent is, let's say first we have a this is our data. Okay, so let's say this is the data. Now what is the data? The data is like this: action, let's say login, and then we are appending next parameters. So it will be username or CSRF token, sorry, action CSRF token. Okay, so it will be like CSRF token. Let's take a random value now, and then username will be admin, and password, let's say admin, and then the captcha value, the what is that, captcha input, sorry. So captcha input, let's also take a random value right now, this. So this is our data. Okay, this is the data initially which we are giving. Now this data will be first encrypted. So let's say first this data is being encrypted by RSA. Okay, whatever, RSA encryption. Now how to delete this? Delete. Okay, this one. How to expand this? Like, yeah, like this. Sorry guys, I'm recording for the first time. So RSA encryption. Now RSA is being encrypted with what? With our server private key, server public key. So server public key. So then the data is being encrypted in encrypted data, and then that encrypted data is being encoded in base 64. Okay, so this is the final input that is being sent and that we intercepted in bar, that is base 64 encoded encrypted data. Okay, so we got this value, and we can we reversed it by decoding from base 64, right? So let's we decoded it, but then we cannot decrypt it because we don't have the server private key. So what I thought was, if I can take the same data like this, and we know the server public key from the script.js file, and I encrypt the data, should the data I got from encryption be the same as the data, and after that we base 64 it, so that two data should be matched, right? The data I am encrypting right now and the data we will intercept using BART if we use the same password and username and whatever CSRF token and captcha input. But that did not happen, and I was stuck. I was confused why we are doing the same process but we are getting different result. So after doing some research, I understood the problem. The problem is when we do RSA encryption, there is a process, there is a step, that is padding, right? So that padding is done by random values, and every time you encrypt, even though you are encrypting with the same key, the same data is the same, but every time the encrypted value will be different. So that is why I was getting different value even when I was doing the same process. So I just wanted to tell you that some of you might think the same way and it will just waste your time, so whatever. So yeah, so we can see the login page here. So we have to brute force it. We don't have to think much. The question already told us that use the first 100 lines of docu.txt file and we have to brute force it. But what we do in normal brute force is we write a script, right? So we will write a Python script. There we will use something like requests to send request to that endpoint, that is server.php, with a post request, and send the username, password. So at first what I thought is I started writing a script with requests, and then I did manual encryption with RSA. There was a module or a package in Python that was doing RSA and everything like that. But the moment I reached the CAPTCHA portion, then I realized that I can't send the CAPTCHA input via request because the CAPTCHA is in the browser. Like our script cannot see what the CAPTCHA input is, and it cannot like it was very complex doing that way. What we can do is in TryHackMe there is a walkthrough. Let me show you first. View path. custom tooling, and then there was tooling via browser automation. Here is a part that is automating CAPTCHA bypass. They talk about Selenium. Selenium is a browser automation tool that, the request method that send the request to the a specific endpoint. But what Selenium does is it's literally simulate the same thing as we do in the browser. Like it will go in the username field and type the username, password, and then CAPTCHA. So we don't have to manually do everything. We don't have to manually fetch the CSRF token, because the CSRF token is inside the HTML page of index.php. So if we do via manual request script, we will have to fetch that CSRF token and then input that. But in Selenium, we don't have to do that. That will handle it automatically. So we have to use Selenium. That is the first thing. Okay, so I have a script here. Let's see. Let's call it payload.py Python script, and I have uploaded that script in my GitHub. I will link it with that video. Okay, first let's copy this whole thing, and I will explain one or two things that I have modified. Let's go to online. We can see it better here. Okay, so can I zoom it? Yeah. So first thing, we have to install all the, import all the necessary modules here. So in the walkthrough in TryHackMe, they already show us what we have to import, like Selenium WebDriver, command by, import by, like this. So after importing everything, we have our target URL, that is where the page is located, like where the username, password will go. That is our index.php. Let me show you. Yes, this page is index.php, as you can see. Where is that? Okay, and then we have to set up a browser. Like we are not in a normal browser like Firefox or Chrome, right? We have to set up a headless browser. Like sometimes we use card in terminal, like that. So yeah, we'll set up a headless browser here, and all of this is discussed in this walkthrough. As you can see, I have done the same thing. I have actually copy pasted it from here to there. One thing I have changed is, let me see, is that one thing? Yeah, so as you can see here, the way they were fetching the CAPTCHA value, that I have changed. So here they were using, let's see, where is that? CAPTCHA. Yeah, so CAPTCHA image element, they were finding by element, that is image. Like it will locate the image using its tag name. It will take the first image element, like that. But I have specifically said that we have to take, where is that? Read CAPTCHA from element. Yes, CSS selector image alt equals to CAPTCHA. So we are more specific here. That is the one thing I have changed. Another thing I have changed is probably if I have a fallback. Like sometimes what happens is Selenium does not understand the CAPTCHA correctly. So the login process will fail. In that case, we have to retry with the same password. If we don't retry, what will happen is that password will be skipped because the CAPTCHA was not correct. To prevent that, we have to do a fallback method. I did it somewhere here. Yeah. So what we'll do is we will check the error message. If there is an error, we will check the error message, and if the CAPTCHA is wrong, the error message will contain the word CAPTCHA. That is what's being done here. Find element by error box. We will check if CAPTCHA is in the error text. If CAPTCHA is in the error text, that means that the CAPTCHA was wrong. So we have to retry that password with CAPTCHA again. So retrying the same password, this is printing like continue, and we will do the same loop again. That is the one thing. Another thing I changed is yeah, so they used submit. Let me show you. Yeah, they were using form submit. Okay, so what this does is it sends the form for authentication, but what I did is I button click. So dot click. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, so instead of dot submit, I use dot click on login button to trigger the script.js which encrypts and processes our imports. Let me show you where that is. Yes, here you can see find element login button dot click. This is the three things I modified. Now one thing I have to change here is target.php. Let's put our target machine IP address here. 1048.1. What was that? Let's say 17228, and same thing here. And okay, now another thing we have to do is this, they told us to use first 100 lines of the rockview.txt, so we have to first create that password list. Let's do this. Open tab. Here we can find rockview.txt. To take the first 100 lines, we can use head. The comment was probably head in 100, and let's call it password.txt. I think I did something wrong here. How to take? In input. Oh, okay. So we have to put the main file from where we are taking first 100 lines. That is rockview.txt. Let's call it password.txt. And now, as you can see, password.txt is there. Let's go back to our script. Everything is okay now. Yeah. So now let's just copy this and we can run it in our attack box. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Let's save it. Now let's run it. Hopefully it starts run. Okay, we have to install Selenium because there are some modules that we imported, but that is not installed in this attack box. To install it, let's pip. I think I put that in the script itself. Yeah, pip install. These are all the things that we have to install, so you can copy it and install in your machine. Let's see. Yeah, it's downloading. Another thing we have to install is, sorry, I just, every time I do this, next screen appears. We have to install the Chromium driver that is needed for Selenium to work. So let's how do we get that? apt install, apt-get install. Chromium driver. Is that it? Yeah. Let's download that. Let's see when it's done. Why is it stuck? Okay, it's still working. I'm going to pause the recording until it's done. Okay, so Chromium driver has been installed. Now hopefully we can run our script. Let's run that. Is it working? It takes some time to set up that browser configuration and then send the payload. So wait for 1 minute. Maybe after that we can see the output that it's trying every password. Okay, something is wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I ran the script in wrong location. The password.txt is in here. My bad. What? Oh shit. So now the problem is I saved the script in other directory and our password.txt is in this directory. So let's just do this. Let's move our password.txt to, I don't know how to, like this. Okay, I think it's gone now. Let's confirm. Yeah, payload.py is here and password.txt is also here. So now I think we can run that script. There is no password.txt. Okay, passwords.txt, and I have done password.txt. Sorry guys, I don't know why I'm doing so many mistakes here. Let's just change our file name. And now hopefully it will work. Yes, finally. So it's trying each and every password from our passwords.txt, which is just first 100 entries from rocky.txt, and hopefully we can crack the password. Let's see. I'm going to pause the recording until we see a match. Okay guys, so we found the password. One thing I want to show you is as you can see, during the brute force process, CAPTCHA misread, retrying same password. You can see many like this. So as I was saying, Selenium will sometimes misread the CAPTCHA, and if we don't put a fallback loop there, it will just skip that password and try next one. So there is a chance that our valid password will be skipped and we will never get the right password. So that fallback loop is very important. And as you can see, we got our password. Let's try to log in with that. First, let's turn off our proxy, and we do, what was the username? Admin, right? Yeah, admin, and password is, as you can see in my, probably you won't see in my screen, I will blur the password because I don't want to give flag. Okay, first I have to refresh because that CAPTCHA was wrong. Admin, password, CAPTCHA. Yeah, as you can see, we got the flag here. I'm not showing the flag. You can do the exact steps and get the flag, and I will link my repo where I have put the payload, like the script. You can see the script, and if there is something you don't understand or any question, you can ask me in the comment section or in my LinkedIn. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.